What's up everyone, Ice Cold Coffee here, back with another video guide on how to play Age of World Wars. Today we'll be playing Axis Victory 2, Invasion of Australia. We'll be playing this on Rock Hard difficulty, and we'll be doing it within 15 turns. Right, so the first thing we want to do is send both our fighter jets, this thing over here, and that thing over there, down south, because we want to target their Spitfires and Hurricanes before they become active. Right now they're still dorsal, so we want to kill them while they still don't bite. Then we're going to surface our submarines because they move faster towards the enemy battleship that's right here. And we should then move our bombers down south in order to target their shipyard and their airfield. Then we're going to sail our cruiser and the rest of our destroyers down south towards their port. Right, once they are all there, we can focus fire. I'm going to fire on the cruiser first because it's the most dangerous target. Then we're going to make a poggers move here. Going to send a rifleman into this boat and the tank, and then sail the boat all the way down south towards Darwin. We're gonna clear this water mine over here because we want to send this ship towards Darwin as soon as possible. We don't want anything blocking its path. And this should go as quickly as it could. Whatever you do, keep this boat alive and everything inside intact, because this thing is the only way that we are gonna occupy Darwin. Right? So now we can focus on our northeastern forces. Gonna send our aircraft carriers towards the east. And then start bombing them. So we're gonna focus on the most dangerous target here, which is the MG42. And then just randomly shoot some guys over here. Right, so what we want to do now is to send both these riflemen into this transport ship and then sail it towards the northeast. The reason why we're doing this is because we want to make sure that this boat is out of the shooting range of these ships, so we can sail it safely towards Honiara and occupy it. Then we want to send our bomber towards the east. This bomber will be responsible for bombing Guadalcanal. Again, we want to keep this out of the range of the ships, so it's out of the range of their AA guns. Right, so what we want to do now is to focus on the army on the island. So first of all, we're going to send this infantryman, this rifleman, towards the MG. Drop a bomb, drop a grenade over there, so now it's weakened. And since now it's weakened, we can one-shot both these guys with the MG. Then we want to keep dropping grenades on these guys. Again, we want to focus fire. And over here, we want to send our MG and kill both these guys at once. And drop a grenade on this guy, again focusing fire. And then send our flamethrower over here. We want to keep our flamethrower alive because he will be responsible for burning the barracks. Then we'll send our SMGs towards the enemy mortar. Kill it. And then send the rest of our forces over towards the south. Just basically throwing everything we've got at them. So we can simply direct the rest of our forces towards the town of Port Moresby, and that should be it. Right. Now, for insurance in case most of our forces get clocked out from occupying Port Moresby, we will have another channel by sending artillery and an infantryman along the coastline of this island towards the edge of Port Moresby, so we can dispatch our forces onto this city in case we have in case that most of our forces are obliterated here. So this is like our plan B. Now for the production side of things, we don't need this, we don't need this, and we can simply focus on these things, right? So we gotta produce some riflemen over here, direct them over towards Port Moresby. Gonna create some cargo ship in this shipyard, direct it towards this town, and we're gonna generate some bombers over here. So now this town, Jayapura, is gonna produce bombers quicker, and we're gonna direct it towards the south. Next up, we're gonna produce a big transport boat here. Gonna create some riflemen, and what we want to do with this transport boat is to send it towards Townsville. This is one of the ways that we can occupy Townsville with. The other way is to occupy it by sending a jeep towards from Darwin towards Townsville after we've occupied Darwin. So there would be like two angles of attack, one from the west and one from the north. There will be mines over the island of Australia, and there will be some sea mines over here. So in case one of them gets destroyed by the mines, we still have another option to occupy Townsville. And for the aircraft carriers, we can simply produce some bombers over here. If you don't have these researched, that's fine. We're actually not gonna produce, we're not gonna use these bombers produced in the aircraft carriers. And that should be it. I'm gonna skip through it to speed up the video. Right, now we're gonna keep setting our fighter jets towards the enemy fighters. Then we're gonna move our bombers. Then for the submarines, we're gonna keep them submerged now because we're getting dangerously close towards the battleship. And we're gonna send this guy over here and bomb their shipyard. We have to avoid their mines. So we're just gonna park our ships over here. Just going through the basic motions, gonna kill all of their guns. Stop them from firing back at us. So as you can see, like we're parked right next to the edge of Australia. Just keep bombing their infrastructure. And we're gonna keep sending this boat downwards. Right now for the north, we're gonna keep sending our aircraft carriers towards the east. And then we're gonna focus fire on the battleship. The reason why I'm shooting this guy first is because he's doing the most among the damage towards us. He's the most capable one, and the name of the game here is to remove the most dangerous target as early as possible. Now he's dead. The next target in line will be the cruiser because he's the next most dangerous target. So we're gonna focus fire on him. One little skill you might want to use is to park your ships right next to the enemy ships, so if they fire at you directly, they will get some inflicted damage. That's automatic, so we're using the game mechanics against them. Then we're going to send our boat towards the east and our bomber towards the south. Just gonna send our bomber over this mine to disarm it. And that should be it for this section of the map. Then we're going to keep sending our forces towards the east. Fortunately, we got bombed by one of the mines, but that's fine. We still have a lot of forces left. And we're just going to keep dropping grenades on them. Always use your weapons appropriately. The AT gun is meant to kill the tank in one shot, so that's what we're doing. And now we've occupied this artillery, we can fire at all their infrastructure. So what we were doing just now is basically to clear everything in the path of the artillery so we can occupy it. And now we've occupied this bunker, we're ready to go. And we're going to direct everything towards the east now. There we go. And that should be it for now. And we're going to proceed. I'm going to skip. Great. Now we're going to keep flying our fighter jets towards the enemy fighters. Since they're still dorsal, we don't get inflicted damage. And now we can start bombing their shipyard. What we want to do next is just fire at their infrastructure. Just destroy every single factory over here so they don't get to produce any more things. Gonna keep sending our boat down south. Still actively trying to avoid this mine. Later on, we're probably gonna send our battleship over this mine to clear it because, since our battleship has so much health, it doesn't really matter to it whether it hit a mine or not. Start setting our subs towards the battleship and throwing torpedoes at it. Right, now for our forces in the north, we're going to keep sending our aircraft carriers down south. We want to fire on their barracks first because we're going to stop them from generating more infantry. I'm going to send this bomber over their shipyard, Guadalcanal. I'm going to send our little ship down there. Now we want to focus fire on their cruiser. I'm going to send a torpedo and send another torpedo over here. I'm going to kill this guy, hopefully. Yep. And since we are on such low health, we might as well just clear this mine over here with it. And now we're going to try to kill their destroyer. just park our ships right next to this submarine. And now for the forces on the island. We're just gonna keep pushing forward. And we're gonna fire on their aircraft carrier because this is the most important target. Gonna get our commander back out. And that should be it for this round. And on to the next step. Great. So now we're gonna keep killing their aircrafts. Then we want to bomb their shipyard again. Now that it's destroyed, we want to fly it all the way towards the east. Now we're going to focus back on their battleship. I'm going to clear this mine first with our battleship, but first let us fire at their tanks. And now this mine is clear, we can safely sail our ships towards the east. Great. Now we can keep sailing this down there. And we're gonna park like 2 destroyers over here just to protect our transport ship in case the town of Darwin produces any combat units that's threatening our units inside. And that should be it for the south. While for the north, we're going to keep setting our aircraft carriers. Now we can start shelling their shipyard. We're going to stop them from producing any more units. And just going to keep setting everyone towards the east. Now for our forces over here. Unfortunately, there's someone occupying this town, so we have to send one of our ships to shell it so it's clean. Now it's occupied and it's ours. Great. We want to produce some bombers over here. And we can just, I don't know, probably send those bombers towards the south. And we're gonna direct this bomber all the way down south, going around the peripheral of this AA gun so it doesn't get shot. We're gonna shoot at this sub while it's surfaced. And since we got a sub here, we gotta use our Minakaze and use the depth charge-ups to kill the sub. The reason why I'm using the Minakaze instead of the Momi is because the mines of the Minakaze can one-shot submarines while the Momi cannot. Then we're gonna fire on their barracks as usual. And that should be it for this round, I guess. Yep. And on to the next turn. Great. Now we're gonna keep firing on their fighter jets once again. And we can start bombing their airfield so they don't produce any more aircrafts. I know that now that my bombers are within range of their AA guns, I'm gonna get shot, but it's more important to deny enemy access in producing any more air units, because it poses a threat to our fighters. This is like an acceptable risk, and we're gonna keep sending our bomber down south. Next up, we're gonna send this cruiser back within range of Darwin in case it generates any more combat units, and send the rest of these ships towards the east. This submarine will just park right next to Darwin in case it needs fire support, so we have like a cruiser and a submarine to fire on the town in case someone occupies it. And then we're going to keep sending our ships towards the east. Going to sacrifice this Momi to clear out the mines. Going to sacrifice all our destroyers because most of the destroyers are dispensable. They deal so little damage, it doesn't really matter whether they're alive or not. Gonna surface our subs because they move faster while surfaced, and we're gonna move them just out of range of the aircraft carrier. Gonna start shelling them with our artillery, and now we can focus back on the Navy in the north. So what we want to do is send these guys back into the transport ship and then sell it towards the AA gun. It's important to note that there's like a mine over here, so if we accidentally sail this transport ship towards the mine, it'll blow up and we will not be able to occupy this AA gun. So it's advised to sail this from the east to occupy this thing, or else if you sail it from the north, it's gonna explode. But if it explodes, you can just simply shell this AA gun with the ship. That's still fine, but you're just gonna waste some turns. And since we want to do this as quick as possible, we're gonna save these shells for these guys on the mainland. Gonna keep our aircraft carriers just out of range of their cruiser, and we can start shelling them. Right. We're nearly done producing this unit over here. And that should be it for this round. Great. We're going to keep firing on their aircrafts. Like I said, this AA gun started firing at us, but that's fine. Now their airfield is empty, we can start focusing on their AA guns. I keep sending our bombers towards south. And then now we can move our subs near their aircraft carrier and start sending torpedoes towards it. Now once we sail through this strait, we have to submerge our submarines because this is an artillery, and if we do not submerge it, they will be able to fire at us. And then we're going to clear this mine with our destroyers. Like I said, most of the destroyers are dispensable. They don't do a lot of damage anyways. Just take a look how little damage it did. Gonna use our main force, which is the battleship, to punch the artillery. And now that this transport ship is right next to Darwin, we can send everything inside. Great, now we've taken it. We can send the tank over here and produce a jeep that will go all the way from here to the town of Townsville. So like I said earlier, now we got two angles of attack, one from the west one from the north. And since they didn't produce anything over here earlier, we can safely send our submarine and our cruiser towards the east now, since it doesn't need any fire support anymore. We can destroy this artillery and use our own artillery to pulverize their team. And now for the forces up north. Thankfully, our transport ship is now produced. We can send it over here to the edge and then send 2 guys into it and then direct this transportation over down south. So we can occupy it from the west, we can occupy it from the north by sending the ship southwards. Right, so we're gonna keep sending our little boat towards the AA gun. Just to demonstrate that there's a mine over here, I'm gonna send this carrier over there just in a minute. Not sure why it didn't explode. There should be a mine over here. But anyways, let's continue. Gonna keep shelling their infrastructure first. And stop them from producing any more ships. Gonna kill this guy, gonna kill that guy. And look at this, our transport ship is almost near Port Moresby. Like I said, if these guys that get destroyed before they reach Port Moresby, we can simply land our transport ship right next to this edge, so we can just occupy it even if we get bogged out. Great. And I'm gonna keep our ship over here, and yeah, that should be it. We've got a bomber. Now it will probably automatically fly southward since we've already directed it to do so. And we can proceed. Great. I'm gonna keep firing on their fighter jets. And then gonna fire on their AA guns, gonna bomb them. Unfortunately, we got destroyed. That's alright. We still got 1 bomber left. And now we're gonna keep sending our subs towards them. Actually, we can surface our subs now since we're out of range of their guns. And we can target their barracks with our battleship. Kill all the important targets. And just shell the rest of them. I'm gonna send our sub over here, don't forget about it. And we're gonna keep sending this Hago light tank all the way through the north of Australia, just to check if there's any mines over here. Because usually this Jeep will hit some mines, and it's basically a one-shot for mines. So we're gonna clear this path for any dangerous obstacles with the infantrymen and the light tank. Great. You'd notice that we've created a bomber over here, but just to show you that it's actually not necessary, I'm just gonna keep it back inside the aircraft carrier. Gonna send some torpedoes. Destroy that infrastructure and then just keep pounding them. Just to show you that there's another method of taking this town, I'm gonna land it right next to it and then land our infantry into Port Moresby. And we're gonna generate some bombers over here and send them southwards. Great. Now, we can keep firing on their fighter jets. Like I said earlier, they used to be dorsal, but once we occupy Port Moresby, they become active, but it doesn't matter now since we've destroyed all of them already. It doesn't really pose a threat anymore. Right, again, we're going to keep our bomber back inside the aircraft carrier just to show you that it's actually not necessary. And we're going to keep sending our little ship towards the AA gun. Again, you want to transport the, you want to send the transport boat all the way down south as another angle of attack. And that should be it for this round. Great. Actually, we're gonna focus back on the back here. Unfortunately, our bombers got destroyed. That's all right. We still have quite a lot of weapons left. Then we can focus back on these guys. Gonna clear this mine with our tank. It's gonna explode. Doesn't matter. We just want to make sure that the path is clean for our Jeep later on. Then we're gonna keep setting our Navy towards the east. Kill that guy. Gonna clear some mines along the way. Doesn't matter if our destroyers get bombed out of oblivion, we still have our battleship left. That's like our most important asset. Great. Now we can land our boat over here and occupy this AA gun. And now we can basically ignore this. We're going to keep setting our big transport boat down there and send our aircraft carrier just to scout out the area for any water mines. So in case this transport boat gets destroyed, we still have the Jeep from here to occupy Townsville. And that should be it for this round. Great. Now that our Jeep is produced, we can start sending it towards the east. And I'm gonna always keep someone in front of the Jeep to detect any mines. And we're gonna focus back on this guy. Gonna send it away from the AA gun for the time being. Gonna send our aircraft carriers just to destroy their AA gun and to destroy their cruiser. Right. Now we can send our cruisers down south. Just destroy everything in their path. Gonna keep setting our boat. That's our plan B. And we can continue. Great. We're going to keep setting our infantry towards the east and our Jeep following it right behind. Going to clear the mines first with our aircraft carriers. We can use the aircraft carriers as like minesweepers because like they have so much health. They can just clear out the mines, which will give safe travel for our transport boat. Actually, we can use one of our aircraft to scout out the area, just to clear all the mines. And we're gonna keep sending all our forces down there. Firing on their shipyard just to make sure it doesn't produce anything anymore. And we can continue. So we're going to keep firing all our guns at them. Destroy all of their infrastructure so that they stop producing. Now we can safely send our transport boat over here and our Jeep from the west. As you can see, there's like a mine over here. Later on, we're going to destroy it with our riflemen. So So we're gonna send this rifleman on a suicide mission, clear out the mines, and send our boat, park it right next to the town. So normally we can occupy this town with our riflemen, but just to show you that we've got 2 lanes of attack, I'll just land them right next to the town. And now we can keep sending our jeep over here, and we're now at 12 turns, so we might as well occupy it. And there you go, 13 turns. That's how we capture the whole town of Australia using 2 lanes of attack, and that's 13 out of 15 turns, 3 styles. And that's it for this video. So have fun, enjoy the game, and I'll see you on the next one.